Exclusive contract with Feilu Novel Network Novel. Editing history. Counting the top 10 failed traits, Qin Yu discovered that his videos could be published on the Wanjie plane.So, a video titled, Counting the 10 Most Failed Passes, was released. At this moment, other emperors on different planes began to argue. Liu Bei said, I have Kong Ming entrusted me with the task of passing on the throne. Adou will surely be able to strengthen the country forever, and failure has nothing to do with me. Zhu Yuanzhang said, Our family has many descendants, and Emperor Yunwen's filial piety is the most important. We are very pleased to entrust the country to him, and we will definitely not fail. Qin Shi Huang said, As the heir of my family, I support Su Renyi, but my heart is too gentle. Hu Hai also caters to my wishes. No matter who it is passed down to, the Great Qin will surely have a lasting legacy. For a dynasty, the rise and fall of the throne is crucial, and these people naturally have carefully considered it. This day, the video of the top 10 most failed passes has been released. Originally, many emperors with full confidence in various aspects were full of confusion. Subsequently, when the title of the top-ranked emperor was announced, all other emperors remained silent collectively. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Video to the World. Kneeling Down. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. Video to the World. Kneeling for flowers to reward and evaluate Magic City. Happiness Community, a rental room. Qin Yu held a mobile phone with no visible brand, and a message on it was catching. Ding. The work you have published contains dangerous guidance information. We suggest that you make modifications before publishing. As a popular science video creator, he naturally understands that this indicates that his work has violated regulations. If this happens a few more times, his account will be completely invalidated. If that's really the case, then his efforts during this period will be in vain. At this moment, in Qin Yu's heart, such thoughts emerged. Immediately, he let out a slight sigh. He also hesitated on how to develop next. Is it really necessary to post videos of little girls dancing like other video bloggers? In fact, there is a secret hidden in his heart that he is not from this world. Due to some coincidences, I traveled through this parallel world. By chance, he became a video blogger again. Originally, he wanted to post some hot jokes from his past life. In that case, let alone causing a fire, at least ensuring one's own livelihood security is not a problem. Just when he calmed down and truly understood the development of the world, he suddenly realized. Those videos from past lives can be found in this world with similarities. Even if not, there are still higher quality works to replace it. Therefore, with such understanding, in Qin Yu's heart, he slowly gave up the idea of publishing these works and instead chose the science popularization column as the fastest way to accumulate fans. At first, Qin Yu accumulated tens of thousands of fans through popular science short videos. Just the impact on the short video market is increasing in the current market. The excessive promotion of short videos on some platforms has led to many people joining in, making the competition in this area even more intense. If we don't find a way to break through now, perhaps in this fiercely competitive environment, Qin Yu will sadly withdraw from this circle. Thinking of these things in his heart, Qin Yu couldn't help but sigh. Sigh, I've embarrassed the traveler. Nevertheless, at this moment, the most important thing is how to resolve this matter. However, he was still pondering these in his heart. The next moment, a mechanical electronic sound echoed in Qin Yu's mind. Congratulations to host Qin Yu for becoming the only editor in the world as the unique, universal editor. Among blue stars, you can edit videos as you please, and the works you edit will be discovered by people in various spaces. The system will evaluate the work you have edited, and people from other spaces can also reward it. Finally, the system will give you a certain reward after comprehensive evaluation. Listen to the sound coming from your ear. At this moment, Qin Yu's eyes lit up. Next, it took Qin Yu about 10 minutes to roughly understand the function of the system. Simply put, the videos taken by Qin Yu only need to be uploaded to this system. So, people on other historical space platforms can see this video. For example, Xia, Shang, Zhou, Spring and Autumn and Warring States, Eastern and Western Han, Three Kingdoms, Jin, Southern and Northern Dynasties, Sui, Tang, Song, Yuan, Ming, Qing and other dynasties. And these. In the role of the system, it is just the tip of the iceberg. If the videos uploaded by Qin Yu are loved by these people, then he can receive rewards. And among these reward methods, the first point is to reward it through viewers from other worlds. And these rewards will be settled into the system space after the video ends. At this moment, Qin Yu's mind was filled with a hint of anticipation as he thought about these things. I don't know what kind of reward will be given then. This idea greatly inspired Qin Yu. Compared to these, Qin Yu is more interested in the second point. Compared to the first point, the second point is to settle based on the comprehensive situation of the video. As a video blogger with tens of thousands of fans, how could Qin Yu not know about this? At this moment, he had long wished to quickly present the video. After all, some of the videos he edited before had a certain amount of views. However, it did not cause a significant sensation. Nowadays, with the help of the system, things are different. At that time, people from various dynasties will be able to watch Qin Yu's edited short videos. From the ruler of a country to the people of Dawn. And all of these will be his audience. Although I won't say how well I did, it is bound to be much better than now. How could Qin Yu not know about these things in his heart? Even if Qin Yu knew these in his heart, how could he present them? These have instead become what he needs to do now. Standing in place, Qin Yu slowly stopped, his mind even more lost in thought. What exactly should I shoot for the first episode of the video? As the saying goes, the beginning of everything is difficult. If we can get off to a good start with the first episode of the video, the number of viewers will increase, and everyone will receive rave reviews. And these are the things that Qin Yu most wants to do at the moment. At this moment, a flash of inspiration flashed in Qin Yu's mind, and he suddenly thought of a video. Not long after, he rummaged through his phone for a while, his gaze slowly fixed on a video on his phone. On the video, the title is prominently written. Inventory of the 10 most failed emperors in each dynasty's succession. This video had a mediocre response when it was first released. However, when producing this video, Qin Yu put a lot of effort into it. And he also believes that using this video as a starting point is undoubtedly very appropriate. At this moment, Qin Yu is curious. System, may I upload this video to your website? Quickly, the system answered directly. Yes, and the system will automatically modify some of the appearances and sounds to truly restore the original historical appearance. Qin Yu was surprised to receive such an answer. However, he will have even more confidence in this. Qin Yu quickly uploaded this video until he received a successful upload prompt. Next, he just waited directly. At the same time, a video is prominently presented in various time, space, and dynasties. Then, under a dazzling light, a headline appeared prominently. Inventory the top 10 most unsuccessful emperors who passed the throne. Qin Ming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 2. Illusions of Heaven and Earth, 10 Failures of Transmission. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. Abyss of Heaven and Earth, 10 Failed Successions, Kneeling Flowers, Rewarding and Evaluating Tickets. Inside the Ba Shu mansion. At this moment, the courtiers gathered here below to discuss. Above the courtiers, Liu Bei sat upright in a magnificent Shu embroidery white dress. All of this was fully visible to him. From the beginning of the Yellow Turban Uprising until now, there has been such a situation. Liu Bei was even more moved by this. Now, for him, he is facing the most critical moment. With this in mind, Liu Bei looked around at the courtiers below. In the end, his gaze fell on a Confucian scholar holding a feather fan, and he suddenly asked. Kong Ming, what do you think should be done now that the situation is like this? As soon as these words were spoken, many civil and military officials who were originally still discussing also turned their gaze to Zhu Yuanzhang. Like many others, this answer also troubles Liu Bei. Since the Yellow Turban Uprising, it has been until now that it has taken over Ezhou. Liu Bei, as the protagonist, is most aware of the hardships involved. And now, compared to everyone present, Liu Bei's heart was eager to know where to go in the current situation. Seeing everyone like this, Zhu Yuanzhang gently shook the goose feather fan in his hand and spoke calmly. My lord, Liang feels that since my lord took over the land of Ba Shu, even if it was Cao Cao from the north, the generation of Sun Quan from eastern Wu did not dare to act recklessly. As Zhu Yuanzhang spoke these words, the civil and military officials present nodded one after another. In the eyes of literati, Liu Bei is a rare Ming Jun and a hope for the Han family to be supported. In the eyes of the generals, Liu Bei sympathized with his subordinates, making them want to sacrifice their lives and shed their blood for him. Everyone is also willing to believe that under the leadership of Liu Bei, the Ba Shu region will slowly move towards prosperity. This move, even Liu Bei understood. However, there was the Wei army led by Cao Cao in the north, and the Eastern Wu army led by Sun Quan in the south. Anyway, for Liu Bei, these two are formidable enemies. With this thought in his heart, Liu Bei slowly turned his gaze to Zhu Yuanzhang beside him. When Zhu Yuanzhang saw this situation, he naturally understood and immediately clasped his fists and spoke solemnly. Liang is not talented, willing to assist the Lord in pacifying the world and creating a prosperous era for our Han dynasty. Accompanied by Zhu Yuanzhang's words, all the courtiers present stood up to support his proposal. The military strategist's words are absolutely correct. If we have a military strategist in Ba Shu, we can definitely pacify all sides. The Chao bandits have taken the emperor hostage to command the lords, and we must not give up easily. There is also Sun Quan from Jiangdong, who is also a formidable enemy. As long as the Lord gives an order, I will immediately lead the elite of Ba Shu to pacify the two of them. At this moment, hearing the voices of the courtiers discussing in his ears, Liu Bei felt very relieved. For him, it was already the year of knowledge and error. How many more years can it last in the future has become an unknown number. Among her own offspring, Liu Chan is still young. As for Liu Feng, who was already his adopted son, these were not within his consideration. Thinking about these things in his heart, Liu Bei was planning to establish an heir to Liu Chan. However, just as this idea had just emerged from his heart, not far away, a golden light shone in the sky, and a dazzling light broke through the sky and revealed to the main hall. All of this happened too suddenly. Even among the numerous civil and military ministers present, there is no time to react in the future. After a while, Liu Bei slowly opened his eyes and asked the guard beside him. What's going on with this light? Not long after, the guards around were about to answer. However, after hesitating for a moment, he finally clenched his fists and spoke to Liu Bei. Master, why don't you go and take a look yourself? This statement caused an uproar in the entire audience. But Liu Bei himself became even more puzzled. But looking at the guards around him like this, he still got up and walked out. Subsequently, the guards around Liu Bei pushed them away. In the sky, there were originally dense dark clouds, with a look of black clouds pressing down on the city. In a moment, a golden light slowly refracted out from the sky, as if to open a gap in the black cloud. Looking at this golden light, Liu Bei's heart was deeply moved. At this moment, he is no longer able to express his feelings in words. Not long after, an old minister beside him had his pupils dilated, and upon seeing such a scene, he opened his hands and shouted excitedly. Auspicious omen, this is a sign of heaven's blessing on our Ba Shu region. As soon as these words were spoken, so were the other courtiers around him. Especially Zhuge Liang lowered his head and gently moved his fingers a few times, muttering words as if calculating something. Immediately, his eyes lit up as if he had seen some auspicious omen. Numerous courtiers are discussing here. This kind of abnormality is the first time in so many years. Moreover, it also appeared within the territory of Ba Shu. These are even more amazing. Everyone present firmly believes in this. But no one can explain such anomalies. And these are not just appearing in the Three Kingdoms plane. Similarly, in the space where other planes are located. This kind of thing also happened along with it. The Great Qin dynasty faces. Qin Shi Huang sat high above the palace. This golden light caught his gaze and plunged him into contemplation. He, who holds a high position, highly admires the wonders of heaven and earth. He always felt that these were hints from heaven to him. The Great Song dynasty's plane. Zhao Guanyin wore a yellow robe and was crowned emperor by the support of the soldiers in the Qin bridge. However, this anomaly was like a steel needle piercing deep into his heart. These really made Zhao Guanyin feel a bit worried. Why did the heavens suddenly descend upon such a vision? Is what I have done right or wrong? Daming plain. Zhu Yuanzhang sat high in the main hall of the harem, feeling extremely sad in his heart. My beloved son has just passed away due to illness. At this moment, as he looked through the window at the illusion in the sky, he stood there in a daze. I don't know how long it took, but Zhu Yuanzhang finally came to his senses. Can you say, this is Abio's manifestation? What do you want to tell me, this old father? Many emperors saw this scene in public. Not long after, a golden light exploded above the sky. Soon, a line of words appeared. Inventory 10 failed transfers. Note. There is no chronological order for this failed pass. The reasons for being listed will be comprehensively considered based on the country's economy, national strength, and cultural situation. This kind of scene appears. The emperors of all major positions are all in doubt. 10 failed passes. You should know that the most important evaluation of national strength is inheritance. And in terms of position transmission, it is naturally extremely important. At this moment, the gaze of all the emperors fell on the throne. Everyone is very eager to know which emperor will be listed on the list. Qin Ming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 3. Video production completed, Emperor's Pass. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3 Video production completed, Emperor's attention. Kneeling for flowers to reward and evaluate at this moment. The attention of all the emperors on all sides is focused here. For some reason, they were very anxious and didn't want to appear on the list. The Great Qin dynasty faces. Qin Shi Huang sat tall here, with a proud expression in his eyes. His gaze swept over the handwriting on the golden light, completely ignoring it. Failed pass. The Great Qin, will last for thousands of years. Why should I say that I have failed? In such a list, there will definitely not be my name as de Qin. Under the main hall, many civil and military officials nodded and praised this repeatedly. How could they not have known this scene? The four big characters of the prosperous era of the Great Qin dynasty are engraved in their hearts as if in their minds. Therefore, everyone still chuckled lightly and did not take these things too seriously. On the Three Kingdoms plain, Liu Bei observed here. At this moment, his brow furrowed slightly. When he looked at the celestial anomaly, his first reaction was a hint of contempt. At the same time, there was a hint of indifference in his words. Failed to pass. Ba Shu is known as the heavenly barrier. How easy would it be to capture Ba Shu? Besides, with the support of Zhuge's army, how could we fail? Besides, with the unity of our army, we will definitely restore the Han dynasty as soon as possible. Therefore, in this list, there will definitely not be my name Liu Bei. How could Liu Bei not know about this move? He just smiled indifferently and didn't take it to heart. The Great Song dynasty's plane. Zhao Kuanyin breathed a sigh of relief as he watched this scene. Fortunately, it was about 10 failed passes. At present, I am in my prime, and besides, my offspring are among the best. This ranking has nothing to do with me. Despite that, curiosity still arose in his heart. His gaze fell on it, wanting to know who exactly made it to the list. At this moment, Zhao Kuanyin's eyes were fixed on the golden light. Daming plane. Zhu Yuanzhang's heart never calmed down for a long time. For him, he was even more proud and angry. He was unaware of this move. However, even though the matter has come to this point. But for Zhu Yuanzhang, he still felt more and more curious in his heart. For me, I am determined to make remarkable achievements. I really want to see who is on this list. Although that is the case, in the heart of Zhu Yuanzhang. He actually wants to know more about this. Is there any descendant of his Ming dynasty on this list? Despite that, Zhu Yuanzhang had a high regard for himself. Among his descendants, if it weren't for Zhu Biao's early death. With Zhu Biao's abilities, he is naturally the most suitable candidate. And Zhu Yuanzhang also believed in handing over the Ming dynasty to Zhu Biao. So at that time, with the ability of our own son, we can definitely consolidate the country and elevate it to prosperity. As for the third son Zhu Di, he is an outstanding person in terms of martial arts achievements and academic knowledge. Zhu Yuanzhang had reason to believe that no matter who handed over the Ming dynasty to in the future, it would definitely not decline. However, this list may also serve as a wake-up call for the descendants of the Ming dynasty in future generations. Regarding this, Zhu Yuanzhang felt that he must continue to read on. Similarly, other emperors also had such thoughts in their hearts. Although these emperors consider themselves to have exceptional abilities, they are naturally not on this list. People who can create a foundation on their own are undoubtedly very confident. Therefore, they naturally do not believe that there is a problem with their own abilities. However, how could these emperors not know in their hearts? They really don't have any problems, but this list is about passing. As for passing the throne, those are all things that happen after their death. How do these people know? Therefore, if it is found that this list is related to oneself, then how to avoid it next? These are also what they need to do the most at present. In their hearts, everyone's gaze turned towards the golden light. The long river of history is even more profound. Among the many planes that have appeared, the great emperors are eagerly anticipating them. Very soon. Above the sky, golden light explodes. In this golden light, the frames pass by quickly. Xia, Shang, Zhou, Spring, Autumn, and Warring States. The Han dynasty, the Three Kingdoms, and the northern and southern dynasties of the Qin dynasty. Sui, Tang, Song, Yuan, Ming, Qing. Throughout history, those powerful figures flickered through the screen. Swinging my fingers, the lion is 30 million, and I am the craziest to conquer the world. Whether you take away my land or abandon me, it's impossible for you to harm her. The sword energy spans 30,000 miles, with one sword shining cold light in 19 states. Let's do it this way. From now on, mountains and rivers will never meet. As the screen continues to play, such poetry also emerges. These poems may exude a domineering undertone, extreme expressions, or exude a resolute aura. From just now until now, the entire scene has only been a few tens of seconds. However, because of this, it actually brings others into it. Let the emperors in other planes see this place as if they are in person. Even so, these emperors have already achieved their current status. But when these images flashed in front of them, it ignited the flame in their hearts. At this moment, many emperors wished to immerse themselves in it, feeling the poetic and picturesque pleasure and enmity. And the changes within each dynasty and generation are also presented one by one. The Tiger Ben army of the Han dynasty. The Yuyuan 18 cavalry of the Sui dynasty. The Xuanjia army of the Tang dynasty. The Guaning iron cavalry of the Ming dynasty. These powerful troops flickered rapidly in the picture. If it weren't for the previous verses, other emperors might not have felt it. However, all of this, combined, actually presents a complementary effect. Especially the visuals presented in the last few seconds of the video are undoubtedly very shocking for everyone. Especially with the emergence of various weapons, it brings an unprecedented sense of impact to emperors of all levels. Even if they saw this place, they couldn't help but take a cold breath. Speaking of now. At the end of the camera, a few lines of small characters suddenly popped out. Inventory 10 failed transmitters. Editor. Qin Yu. Qin Ming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 4. Eating melon eats your own head. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. Eating melon eating your own head. Kneeling for flowers to reward and evaluate at this moment. In the sky, a row of golden characters appeared. Not long after, it disappeared without a trace. At the same time, this also aroused curiosity among many emperors in other planes. Who exactly is Qin Yu? What does so-called editing mean? Can it be said that the scenes they are seeing now are all created by Qin Yu? But how would these emperors know? The Qin Yu they speak of appears in the future world. Speaking of now. As the golden font above the sky slowly disappeared, accompanied by a melodious sound of music, a picture gradually emerges. Outside the screen, a narration is particularly eye-catching. Planting flowers for 5,000 years, those who have created a dynasty are all talented individuals of heaven and earth. However, it is easy to conquer the mountains and rivers, but difficult to defend them. The descendants of these pioneers may not have the resources of their predecessors. And ranking 10th on this list, the founder's experience can be called legendary. Unfortunately, after passing the throne to one's own offspring, the subsequent development was even more sluggish. Until the end, he was even captured and imprisoned by other monarchs for a full 10 years. Speak with the words in the video. Standing on the main hall of Ba Shu, Liu Bei shook his head vigorously. Then, he let out a slight sigh. How could such a vast country be destroyed by this? Moreover, his monarch was imprisoned for 10 years. I really want to know who this monarch is. In short, these will definitely have nothing to do with my family's Adou. On the other side. In the palaces of the Tang dynasty. Li Shimin looked at these calmly, but his heart never calmed down until he finished reading them. Although during his reign, the Tang dynasty was already in a prosperous era. But how could he not know in his heart? All of this is naturally due to the fact that he is still in power. At this moment, a lot came to his mind. Although the Tang dynasty was already in its heyday, isn't the Sui dynasty only 2 generations? These are definitely not related to my Tang dynasty. However, Li Shimin's gaze became more determined, and he felt even more that he was not wrong. Among his descendants, Crown Prince Li Qingqian seemed to him the most suitable candidate. Although Li Ku, the king of Shu, had excellent abilities, he did not like Li Shimin. At this moment, Li Shimin was slowly drawn to the scene above the sky. Li Shimin such thoughts. For other kings on different levels, they also hold this belief in their hearts. At this point, it is different from what others think. Located in the Three Kingdoms region, within the capital of the state of Wei. This scene has naturally been seen by Cao Cao. As the saying goes, the one who knows oneself the best is their opponent. At this moment, Cao Cao naturally saw this description above the sky. I don't know why, but when I saw this, Cao Cao's first reaction was not related to himself. But these things reminded him of Liu Bei's son Liu Chan. At this moment, beside Cao Cao, a burly man couldn't help but wonder when he saw this scene. Master, what are you thinking? As soon as these words were spoken, everyone else's gaze fell on Cao Cao. Before this, others were pondering these in their hearts. However, as this person's words fell, everyone's poetry fairies fell on Cao Cao one after another. At this moment, when Cao Cao's gaze fell on the crowd, a faint smile appeared on his face. Don't you think this description is very similar to Liu Bei's son Liu Chan? Accompanied by Cao Cao's words, all the civil and military officials present were stunned. Are these similar to Liu Chan? Everyone's faces were filled with curiosity about this. I have heard of Liu Chan before. I heard that he has a very playful nature as a young man. I also believe that the Lord's words are indeed true. If it's really true, then we definitely don't have to worry about Liu Bei from now on. That's right, don't say it's just Liu Bei, even Sun Quan doesn't need to worry in our eyes. But if these two people work together, how should we deal with it? Amidst the voices of everyone's discussion. Quickly, the screen suddenly changed. The golden light on the sky flickered rapidly, and the accompanying image was vividly presented. Subsequently, the screen continued to play. Inventory: the top 10 most failed transfers. 10th place. Liu Bei, the monarch of Western Shu during the Three Kingdoms period. The most failed point, located in Liu Chan, failure. Point 1. Overindulgence towards it leads to its arrogance and arrogance. Failure. Point 2. In order to pave the way for his own son, he killed his adopted son Liu Feng. Failure. Point 3. Acting impulsively, he buried hundreds of thousands of soldiers from Ba Shu in the Sea of Fire in order to pay homage to his sworn brother Guan Yu's death. The video is played here. Among the Three Kingdoms. Liu Bei looked at this scene with an exceptionally bright expression on his face. And the civil and military officials standing beside Liu Bei were also completely unable to believe the appearance of this scene. Everyone is discussing this here. Adou, the young master, is just a young and playful person. I'm afraid there may be some problems with this Qinji. Although that's the case, why did Liu Feng, the young master, be killed? General Guan is a fierce general in our Ba Shu region. Will he really die as a result? And it will also bury the lives of dozens of soldiers in our Ba Shu region. What do you think, my lord? The civil and military officials present were arguing incessantly. Unfortunately, they couldn't come up with a reason. In the end, they turned their gaze to Liu Bei on the side. For them, Liu Bei was originally a generation of benevolence and righteousness. However, if these things are combined, the implications are intriguing. At this moment, even though it was Liu Bei himself, I didn't know what explanation to make. If all of these are false, but in the picture, everything is so clear and clear. If all of these are true, but will he really be like what is said in the picture? For Liu Bei, all of this was like an unsolvable puzzle. Moreover, at this moment, Liu Bei is eager to understand the answer. However, the next moment. In that golden light, the scene suddenly changed, and then a voice rang out. The video inventory for this issue has ended. For more exciting content, please listen to the next episode's breakdown. The golden light slowly dissipated, leaving only numerous civil and military ministers with a dull expression as they watched the scene. Qin Ming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 5. There is something suspicious about this matter, and I, Guan, expressed my disagreement. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Chapter 5. There is something suspicious about this matter, and I, Guan, expressed my dissatisfaction. Kneeling for flowers to reward and evaluate in the sky. As the scene slowly disappeared. Among various planes, the great emperors couldn't help but be stunned. Is this the end? Originally, other emperors planned to see which other emperors were on the list. And the speed at which all of this came to an end was slightly unexpected. However, above the western Sichuan Grand Hall, Liu Bei's gaze turned to the civil and military officials standing below, and for a moment, he didn't know where to start. Just now, are the accusations in the screen true? Speaking of this matter, Liu Bei has not yet known. And the courtiers below are once again discussing this matter. Dr. Wang, what do you think of this matter? Adou, the young master, has a stubborn nature, but I don't think it's known. Perhaps this is indeed the case. A few days ago, my little girl said that the young master Adou was disrespectful to her. Perhaps the scene just now was indeed true. If that's really the case, then the Lord cannot tolerate it and must strictly discipline it. At this moment, the officials of the Manchu dynasty expressed their opinions on this matter. Sitting upright above the court hall, Liu Bei naturally had a panoramic view of all of this. However, the bitterness in his heart can be imagined. Looking back, Liu Bei's early development was not smooth sailing. Think back then. Today we will conquer the east and the west, and after some time, we will conquer the south and the north. At that time, Adou was still young. Moreover, Liu Bei is an old man who naturally dotes on him. Those generals who followed Liu Bei naturally took various care of this young master because of his benevolence. At this moment, he looked at the scene in front of you, but deep down in his heart, it had not calmed down for a long time. After an unknown amount of time, Liu Bei's gaze slowly fell into the crowd. At this moment, he seemed to have made up his mind and directly instructed the guards around him. Send the order and bring Adou over. Just as these words were spoken, the civil and military officials of the Manchu dynasty realized that the situation was not right. Just about to say something, but Liu Bei saw it. At this moment, Liu Bei extended his hand and gently waved to signal everyone to shut up. I have made up my mind, so you don't need to say much. I don't know how long it took, but a few guards brought a teenager over. The young man was Liu Chan, and his tone was extremely frivolous. Since childhood, he has been doting on various things. Therefore, he did not feel any problem with such a scene. However, just as he was about to say something, at the next moment, Liu Bei stepped forward and kicked Liu Chan to the ground. Immediately, he pulled out the long sword from the guard's waist and pretended to strike Liu Chan. Everyone around them was anxious and prepared to step forward to stop the situation. My lord, absolutely not. The young master is young, we cannot do this. Master, please be merciful and leave me a bloodline as a great man. Moreover, at this moment, Liu Chan looked up at Liu Bei with a bewildered expression. He was puzzled by this in his heart. What have I done wrong and why should I be treated like this by my father? The next moment, Liu Bei was heartbroken and reached out to point at Liu Chan, speaking with grief and indignation. I thought Adou was still young, but I didn't expect him to be so immature. Anyway, these are all my faults. As soon as these words were spoken, the eyes of all the civil and military officials in the court were filled with shock. Among the courtiers, Liu Feng's face turned pale with iron, and he couldn't tell any emotions. He didn't know what was on his mind. Especially just now, the images in that scene. Will I die at the hands of Liu Bei in the future? Looking back, he was determined to follow Liu Bei's side. Although Liu Bei is only his adoptive father, in his heart, he has already regarded Liu Bei as his biological father. For Liu Bei, he can be said to have sacrificed his head and shed his blood. Who could talk about how it ended up like this? Thinking of these, Liu Feng's face had an imperceptible change. Among the crowd, a tall and burly general with a jujube-colored face, dressed in a green long shirt, stood there. Unlike other courtiers, he looked at Liu Bei with a pair of big, bronze bell-like eyes. For some reason, his heart was filled with emotion. Then, he slowly spoke up. "Big brother, you don't have to be like this. For the sake of the great Han dynasty's country, let's not act impulsively." As soon as these words were spoken, the other civil and military officials around looked at each other. If it were them, they might not have held much weight in Liu Bei's heart. But Guan Yu is different. Looking back, Liu Guanzhang and the three of them formed an alliance in Taoyuan. Until now, all the way to this point. There is a very deep relationship between the three of them. When his words were spoken, Liu Bei slowly stopped his hand movements. Seeing this situation, Liu Chan felt as if he had seen hope in his heart. Then, he reached out his hand and shouted towards this side. "Uncle Guan, save me." Other courtiers also showed anxious expressions upon seeing the situation. Liu Bei sighed helplessly when he saw this situation. Originally, if it weren't for this, perhaps he wouldn't have been willing to do so either. However, the current situation has already occurred. So how to make up for it now is extremely important. Thinking of this, Liu Bei's gaze towards Guan Yu became much softer. "Young man, what is your opinion on this matter?" With these words spoken, Guan Yu around him saw this situation. At this moment, Guan Yu gently touched his beautiful beard, then his eyes widened and his face showed an angry expression. "Big brother, Guan thinks there's something fishy about this matter. Not to mention whether this scene is true, Big brother is unparalleled in benevolence and righteousness. How could he have done such a thing?" With these words spoken, the civil and military officials present nodded in agreement. General Guan's words are true. My lord is the true ruler of heaven who descended to earth. How could this be so? As the old minister said, whether these are true or false, we must investigate them thoroughly. It's completely nonsense. Adou Xiaozhu is the old minister who watched him grow up. The old minister believes that Xiaozhu is the most suitable successor to the Lord. This is true. As far as I know, it must be a scheme set up by despicable people like Cao Cao. Numerous civil and military discussions have been completed. In their eyes, there must be a problem with this scene. However, the video about the 10 most unsuccessful successors on Qin Yu's side has not been completed yet. The follow-up videos will be released again accordingly. P.S. Kneel for a flower. Kneel for a reward. Kneel for an evaluation ticket. Qin Ming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 6. System Upgrade, All Faced Emperors Gather. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Chapter 6. System Upgrade, All Faced Emperors Gather Together. Kneeling for flowers to reward and evaluate at this moment. Qin Yu calmly looked at the scene before him. For him, what happened on various planes? At this moment, it appeared in front of him like a cluster of stars. As long as he thinks in his heart, he can quickly switch the screen to a certain plane. And the reactions of Liu Bei and the officials of Ba Shu were fully visible to him. Even so, Qin Yu did not take it too seriously. Qin Yu smiled faintly as he pondered in his heart. Do you think that a word of disbelief can change everything? Liu Bei, you may have thought too simplistically. Just now. After communicating with the system, Qin Yu finally realized that his own system had been upgraded. Nowadays, the videos uploaded by Qin Yu are more exquisite and unparalleled than before. At that very moment, Qin Yu uploaded the video he had made along with it. For him, the show has just begun. At the same time, the kings of other planes are eagerly watching. However, at the moment when the screen suddenly cuts off, for these kings, it is even more like a thorn in their throat. At this moment, almost all kings were eager to express their dissatisfaction. However, just as these kings do, the next moment, their minds were as if struck by an electric shock. At the same time, a voice that made everyone unfamiliar sounded in their ears. System upgrade: current emperors of various levels can leave messages. Emperors can speak freely and express their thoughts. The current conversation can only be heard by other emperors, and others cannot perceive it. More related features will be unlocked in the near future. Please stay tuned. As this sound resounds on various levels, the emperors of other positions couldn't help but be taken aback. Especially being able to converse with other level emperors is very rare. Moreover, only these emperors can hear them. This operation ensures their own privacy. After all, the privacy of the emperor's family is still inconvenient to make public. And these words gave these emperors their final dignity. Based solely on what is presented, it is quite good for them. But these emperors were still shocked by this. The Great Qin dynasty faces. Your Majesty, what's wrong with you? Beside Emperor Qin Shi Huang, Zhao Gao quickly approached and asked with great concern. Listening to the sound in his ear brought Qin Shi Huang back from his imagination to reality. He looked at everything in front of him with great confusion, then waved his hand to his side and said, "No problem, I just had a dream just now." Originally, the civil and military ministers around me still had some concerns. However, Emperor Qin Shi Huang is now in good condition, and they finally let go. The Great Tang Dynasty's plane. Li Shimin looked at the scene before him for a long time without calming it down. However, nothing was revealed on his face. If anyone else were to look at Li Shimin like this, they would only think he was in a daze. Not knowing how long had passed, Li Shimin's gaze turned towards the distance before suddenly muttering to himself. Can you speak freely with other emperors on different levels? I don't know if this is true or false. Daming plane. Zhu Yuanzhang was very excited when he saw this situation. At this moment, he slammed his hand heavily on the dragon chair. He was originally from a military background, and with a single strike of gravity, several cracks appeared on the dragon chair in front of him. And above the court, many civil and military officials watched this scene, thinking that they had done something wrong. So, all the civil and military ministers knelt down and begged for mercy from Zhu Yuanzhang. Damn it, lower official. Please forgive me, Emperor. With the deafening sound coming from the court, Zhu Yuanzhang slowly regained his composure. Immediately, he stared at the subconscious words in front of him. Is this matter serious? The eunuch beside him saw this and was about to say something to Zhu Yuanzhang. Quickly, Zhu Yuanzhang slowly regained his senses and looked at the civil and military affairs of the entire court. How could he not know what had just happened? However, he waved his hand and his face remained extremely calm. Let's all get up. Our family's affairs have nothing to do with you. This kind of scenario occurs on various planes. At the same time, the scenes of Ba Shu presented above the sky just now were naturally seen by other emperors. And these emperors have various complex emotions about this. At this moment, they were about to speak but didn't know where to start. And now, it has actually provided them with a suitable platform. I don't know how long it took before the emperor had a probing conversation. Qin Shi Huang. Liu Bei is insincere and insincere, with inconsistent appearances. He is a rare person and dislikes me. Li Shimin. From my perspective, Liu Chan is by no means a wise ruler. If the country were to be handed over to him, it would be impossible. Zhao Guanyin. If I, Zhao Guanyin, had such descendants, it would be a shame to lose my family. Zhu Yuanzhang. We don't know anyone else, but you, Lao Zhao, are not qualified to speak this respect. Under this operation, many were inevitable, and other emperors couldn't help but be taken aback. Just now, the unfamiliar voice rang in their ears. After repeated confirmation, they were able to conclude that this was not a dream. Since it's not just a dream, then this statement must be true. At that moment, the emperors who had just participated in the conversation were all stunned. This operation truly intimidated their hearts. It completely surprised them that they were able to converse with emperors from other time and space. However, it didn't take long. These emperors all focused their attention on the scene in the sky just now. Those are the 10th failed successor Liu Bei and his young son Liu Chan. Originally, they could only watch this scene as bystanders. Nowadays, these emperors can participate in discussions. For them, these things really make these emperors look forward to it. Regarding this, the focus of all the great emperors is on the land of Ba Shu on the Han dynasty. They really want to know how Liu Bei and many civil and military officials in Ba Shu will view this matter next. Is it the flipping sea dragon or the helpless Adou? Everything will soon be revealed. Qin Ming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 7. Is the use of offspring useless? Then make an effort. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Is the use of offspring useless? Then work hard. Kneeling for flowers to reward and evaluate tickets. The land of Ba Shu. Liu Bei's face was filled with resentment, staring at the gradually disappearing scene in the sky. For some reason, his heart was like a flame burning there. Who, as parents, believes that their children are mediocre? Speaking of now. Even for someone as benevolent as Liu Bei, when he heard those words just now, he felt like a flame burning there. However, Liu Bei was about to say something. But in the next moment, he felt a very unfamiliar voice passing through his mind. A new feature has been launched, allowing you to have conversations with emperors of various levels. Note: the current function is only applicable to emperors of all levels, and others cannot listen to it. At the moment of hearing this sound, Liu Bei was completely stunned. And this scene was naturally seen by the surrounding civil and military ministers. This time, these ministers, upon seeing this, showed even more concern. Master, what's wrong with you? It must be because of the scene just now, where the Lord was worried and only then did he realize it. So, it's definitely related to the Chow thief. Since we have reached this point, in my opinion, it would be better to lead a large army to conquer and completely eliminate the northern Chow bandits. Now, due to Liu Bei's reasons, the civil and military officials of the Manchu dynasty were extremely anxious. However, unlike others, Liu Feng's heart, however, grew increasingly resentful as a result. But he didn't show it, he just wanted to know in his heart. How is Liu Bei's attitude towards this matter? The same scene is completely different from Liu Feng's ideas. At this moment, Guan Yu stood on the side with a jujube-colored face. His gaze fell on Liu Bei and he quickly stepped forward to help him up, unable to help but speak. Big brother, what's wrong with you? Originally, Liu Bei, who had fallen into a state of stagnation due to this. At this moment, hearing Guan Yu's voice coming from around him brought him back from his imagination to reality. Liu Bei turned to look at Guan Yu, wiped the sweat off his forehead, and waved his hand beside him, saying, "My dear brother, you have a heart. It's okay for me." Upon hearing these words, the tense expressions of the civil and military ministers, including Guan Yu, were slightly relieved. Speaking of Liu Bei, he was about to say something to divert the attention of many civil and military officials. But at this moment, in his mind, the voices of emperors from various positions were transmitted along with it. Zhu Yuanzhang. Yoho, what's going on with Liu Bei? He hasn't figured out such a trivial matter yet. Qin Shi Huang. Who is this person? I think this person is mediocre and far inferior to me. Li Shimin. Zhenggu may not be clear. This person's name is Liu Bei, a country after the Great Qin dynasty. This Adou is his descendant, and he usually knows nothing about politics except for walking birds and catching crickets. At this moment, Liu Bei's heart was dripping with blood. Especially when the object of dispute among the major emperors is his son Liu Bei. How could he tolerate others blaming his own son who couldn't bear to scold him too much? However, soon. The sound just now echoed again in his mind. Qin Shi Huang. I understand now. It's true that Liu Bei's son is not capable. He really can't afford to pay for Adou, unlike my son. Li Shimin. That's right, brother Liu Bei, don't mind. I speak quite straightforwardly. Zhao Kuanyin. Brother Zheng is really brave, but it's okay. Let's talk about Liu Bei today. Zhu Yuanzhang. That's nature. Waste is waste, don't you want people to talk about it? If it were my son, I would definitely beat him half to death. At this point. When such a voice rang out in Liu Bei's mind. For him, it really makes him feel like a thorn in his back. Especially the various comments made by the emperors towards Liu Bei made him feel very uncomfortable. He hates it so much that his teeth itch. And these people are really going too far when talking. Speak straightforwardly. Just miss his name Liu Bei. And that Zhu Yuanzhang, who is this person? Surprisingly, Liu Bei is his son. In an instant his heart was filled with indignation and injustice. No, how could my son Adou be a waste? This great Han dynasty will flourish in my Liu Bei and my son Adou's hands. With this in mind, Liu Bei looked into the distance again. At this moment, his originally deep and sea-like gaze was like a cold light. And these, many civil and military ministers around Liu Bei naturally took notice of them. For a moment, these ministers suddenly didn't know where to start. However, Liu Bei clenched his fists and looked into the distance, speaking with a look of wisdom beads in his grasp. I am fully aware of what everyone said just now. In my opinion, this matter is definitely closely related to Cao Cao. So, I have decided to launch a campaign against the Cao bandits. What are your thoughts on this? When he said these words, his calm gaze turned to Zhuge Liang beside him. Although not spoken, the meaning behind it is self-evident. Just now, Zhuge Liang's mind was also pondering the merits of existence here. However, he gradually realized. At this point, it seems that the possibility of Cao Cao's actions is not high. Just as I was about to express my feelings, I saw Liu Bei casting a kind gaze in front of me. Looking at this, Zhuge Liang's heart turned as he read, and soon he picked up the feather fan and clasped his hands in a sincere manner, speaking. What the Lord said is very true. From what Liang saw, this matter should be as the Lord said. When his words slowly fell, it naturally made Liu Bei extremely satisfied with it. Besides, there is still a slight suspicion in the hearts of other former Ba Shu tribes around them. After all, a scene suddenly appeared above the sky. And the content in the picture is surprisingly closely related to Liu Bei. From all aspects of analysis, it is certain that Cao Cao has the greatest suspicion in this matter. However, if it were true that Cao Cao had such abilities, can they really withstand even the situation in Ba Shu? For some reason, their hearts gradually began to worry. Although it has come to this point, such a thing has already happened. As ministers of Ba Shu, they cannot stand idly by. Therefore, after watching Zhuge Liang's answer, they also dispelled their worries. Since the matter has come to this point, everything will be as Liu Bei said. However, this scene naturally caught the attention of emperors from other planes. In the eyes of many emperors, Liu Bei was not very fond of it. As the saying goes, the observer sees clearly, and when they approach this matter from the perspective of an observer, they naturally see more. Therefore, when these emperors saw this situation, they all spoke up. Zhao Kuangyin. Fortunately, I arrived in time, otherwise wouldn't I have missed it. Qin Shi Huang. Also having a son, I wonder how much stronger my son Fushu and Hu Hai are compared to Lu Chan. Li Shimin. What Brother Zheng said, I have nothing to say. Qin Shi Huang. What do you mean, is it not good for a widow to have children? Zhu Yuanzhang. Having 1 or 2 children is not a big deal. Our secret is to work hard and there will always be good ones. Right now. This sound echoed in Liu Bei's mind. For him, Liu Bei's heart was really uncomfortable. After all, how could he not know that these emperors were dissatisfied with him? Other emperors, Liu Bei was not aware of it, so that's all for now. However, he didn't know where Qin Shi Huang's confidence came from. What kind of child do you have in mind? His Adou is a good child, just a little playful. How come these emperors are endless one by one? To treat children, one should be tolerant and magnanimous. Thinking of these, Liu Bei already had a plan in his heart. Qin Ming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 8. Emperors and Kings. Compared to sons, who fears who? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. All emperors. Compared to sons, who fears who? Kneeling for flowers to reward and evaluate just in time. Liu Bei stopped. It is obvious that Liu Bei's heart is like a flame burning there for the current situation. Looking back on myself for half of my life, at this age. Moreover, it's still Lao Lizi. Can't we still spoil our own children? Nowadays, how can all these emperors speak in such a tone? The more so, for Liu Bei. At this moment, he naturally joined in and began to argue with these emperors. My Liu Bei, what's wrong? I don't know what others are like, but how can you, Qin Shi Huang, have the confidence to discuss with me? My family Adou has a straightforward nature, which is much better than you and other deceitful people. Of course. Among these emperors, Liu Bei didn't really know much, only Qin Shi Huang and other emperors of the Han dynasty. However, these did not affect him. After all, for him, this is a matter of defending his own son. How could he give up on the current situation? Among other planes. Upon hearing this, the major emperors expressed their dissatisfaction. The Great Qin dynasty faces. Emperor Qin Shi Huang was extremely angry and slapped the table in front of him heavily. Due to excessive force, the table in front of me suddenly became torn apart. This scene really scared others as well. Qin Shi Huang was furious about this. Damn it, how dare you say that I have no way to teach my son? My son Fushu is gentle and refined, and Hu Hai's temperament is exactly the same as mine. Your son only knows how to fight crickets, how dare he compare his son to me? The Great Tang dynasty's plane. Li Shimin felt a bit helpless. However, he still refuted this. I have been in charge of the Tang dynasty for many years, and can be said to have created a prosperous era. Which of Qingxian's sons, including King Li Ku of Shu, is not one of the dragon and phoenix among the people? You, a grass shoe seller, are also worthy of fighting against me. Everyone present was at a loss for what to do when they saw this situation. What exactly is what Li Shimin said? I don't know why, but the civil and military forces present are unclear. Daming plain. Upon hearing what Liu Bei said, Zhu Yuanzhang couldn't help but burst out laughing. Compared to a son. Our eldest son Zhu Biao, fourth son Zhu Di, and 17th son Zhu Quan are all good children. What does Liu Bei and his son count as? At this moment. Upon hearing these words, the courtiers around Zhu Yuanzhang stood trembling and hesitant to speak. After all, Zhu Yuanzhang had an unpredictable temperament. Therefore, they naturally dare not speak up. And this scene is played out in various planes as a result. As the saying goes, nowadays wealthy people are all fighting for their fathers. A person with skills cannot compete with their father. So naturally, these people will compete against their own sons. And as Liu Bei watched this scene, his whole body was like a light on his back. He doesn't understand, it's natural for his own son. Why are so many emperors targeting me now? These are definitely not his fault, Liu Bei. It's all those emperors who are wrong, they have no vision. Yes. That's right, it must be like this. Thinking of these things in his heart, Liu Bei's eyes showed even more determination. Subsequently, Liu Bei disregarded many and directly communicated with other emperors. You people must be jealous of my family's Adou. I know that my son is like a father. What kind of person is Adou in my family? As a father, I still don't know. The more so, after Liu Bei finished speaking. The emperors of other planes chuckled even more when they saw this situation. Li Shimin. Innocent and innocent. Have you ever heard the saying Lu Bu Si Shu, brother Liu Bei? Qin Shi Huang said, do you miss Shu? Who can tell me? Zhao Kuanyin said, Zhenggu, this sentence means that there was a country that was destroyed, and the emperor was captured by an enemy country. When asked about it, the deceased king replied that he didn't even miss his hometown. Qin Shi Huang said, if I were to see these rodents, I would definitely kill them. Zhu Yuanzhang said, if your own child can't handle it, just accept it. Even if someone is cowardly, they can still show off. Just now. When the voices of other emperors echoed on the side. Even for someone as calm as Liu Bei, his face couldn't help but suddenly change. He himself was completely afraid to think about this. However, nowadays, such words are ringing around him. Even Liu Bei couldn't contain his anger and directly retorted. Fallacy, all of you are envious. Adou from my family is a good child. I am delighted to hand over such a land to him. Qin Shi Huang, Li Shimin, Zhao Kuanyin, and Zhu Yuanzhang. Liu Bei has taken note of all the people who have smeared his own dough. Next, he will gradually prove it to these people. Thinking of these things in his heart, Liu Bei's expression became even more resolute. However, although Liu Bei was like this, the emperors in the later generations of the three kingdoms were very familiar with this period of history. Therefore, when Liu Bei confidently said these words, among other planes, those emperors find this extremely ridiculous. No one can wake up a person who pretends to sleep, so it's the same. Liu Bei's affection for his son Adou has reached an almost insane level. In short, in Liu Bei's heart, he absolutely cannot allow anyone to say that his son is not good. This move, however, has attracted opposition from other emperors. And at this moment, Liu Bei, who was full of confidence, could not have imagined that everyone's speech would directly make him look embarrassed. P.S. Kneel for a flower. Kneel for a reward. Kneel for an evaluation ticket. As I said, I will do it. If you give me a reward, I will add an update. Currently, I have updated 8 chapters on the first day, but each chapter's manuscript is actually nearly 3,000 words, which is equivalent to updating the word count of 10 chapters. I would like to thank all the readers for their support. At present, the number of flowers is 8,642. As long as it can exceed 10,000, I will continue to stay up all night and explode liver tonight. Currently, there is a reward. I guarantee a minimum of 10,000 words per day for updates. If you add a reward, you can directly add a new chapter on top of the original one. There is no limit to the conditions for adding a reward, and I am constantly updating. I beg for your support. Qin Ming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 9. If this person were from our Ba Shu region. You are listening at novel full.audio. Chapter 9. If this person is from our Ba Shu region, they will be executed. Kneel down and beg for flowers to reward the evaluation ticket. Let's talk about it now. Among the major planes. How could other emperors not know the attitude of Liu Bei? The more it is like this, the more it makes them angry and want to say something at this moment. However, previously, Liu Bei did not consider it that way. If we say, those people are right in front of us right now. So, perhaps Liu Bei will still be slightly hypocritical at this moment. But now, since you can't even see people, why bother so much? This time, Liu Bei's face suddenly changed. As Liu Bei's heart moved with his thoughts, he answered without any fear. Adou is my son, and in my heart, he is a good child. No matter what your intentions are, I don't care if you're like this. Liu Bei demonstrated his confidence to the fullest in this way. But by Liu Bei's side, the civil and military officials of Western Shu did not know what he was thinking in his heart. But at this moment, others were all discussing the matter on the side when they saw this situation. I believe that Lord Shaoqian is thinking of something big. What Feng Taifu said is extremely true. It's despicable that we are unable to solve the Lord's problems. If it's this matter, then what's the difficulty? Just send someone to keep an eye on these, and then you can seize the victory and pursue them. That being said, General Guan will have to step forward with these matters. At this moment, after discussing civil and military matters in the Manchu dynasty, they all turned their gaze to Guan Yu on the side. And when it comes to this, Guan Yu has a deep understanding. Since the current situation has come to this point, and it's also for my own brother to share the burden. For Guan Yu, how could he not know how to do this? Thinking of this, Guan Yu clenched his hands and his face showed a serious expression. Don't worry, big brother. It's easy for me to handle this matter. At this moment, accompanied by Guan Yu's words, Liu Bei was even more impressed. Originally, he also suspected that this matter was related to Cao Cao. And now, since I have sworn brothers myself, Guan Yu has spoken up. The troubles in Liu Bei's heart were completely swept away. Despite this, on the surface, Liu Bei still looked over with a serious expression on his face. Immediately, Liu Bei looked at Guan Yu and spoke earnestly. Since the wise brother spoke up, then this matter will be entrusted to you. Upon hearing this, Guan Yu clasped his fists in both hands. Liu Bei couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief in his heart. However, at this moment, when other emperors saw this situation, they even showed dissatisfaction on their faces. Qin Shi Huang said, I think this person is not suitable. If he were in Qin territory, he would not be able to survive for 3 days with his resources. Li Shimin said, Brother Zheng is right. I don't like Liu Bei either. Zhao Kuangyin said, if we talk about people from the 3 kingdoms, I think Cao Cao is much better than him. Cao Cao said, I just joined and heard several older brothers discussing Cao. It's a great honor. Zhu Yuanzhang. Old Cao is here. You have a great appetite for our family, and we really like you. Only while Liu Bei is still busy here. In his mind, the conversations of other emperors flooded into his mind in an instant. However, at this moment, Liu Bei had already looked like a wise pearl in his grasp. How could he listen to the words of other emperors? It is basically difficult for a person to change their perspective once they have determined something. And the current Liu Bei perfectly fits this point. However, just as Liu Bei was still pondering these things in his heart, the next moment, a voice suddenly came to his mind. Li Shimin. As you said, what do you think a person who disregards all the soldiers and only cares about their own well-being should do? At this moment, accompanied by Li Shimin's words. On other planes, many emperors watched this scene before them. Now, these emperors couldn't help but want to applaud and praise. Speaking of now. Upon hearing these words, Liu Bei spoke out without hesitation. If this person is from our Ba Shu region, they will be executed. After all, pre-war matches. As the commander-in-chief of the army, he disregarded the lives of tens of thousands of soldiers for his own honor and disgrace. This person can no longer be called a human. The more so, Liu Bei's mind thought of this as if a flame was burning there. However, just as Liu Bei was doing so, at the next moment, another sound came through. Zhao Kuanyin sneered and said, "What if this person forgets his ancestors and abandons them, and does something against his ancestors?" At this moment, as Zhao Kuanyin's words fell, for Liu Bei, he didn't think too much, but his eyes changed and he said it without hesitation. If this person were from our Ba Shu region, they would definitely not be lenient. Now, as Liu Bei finished speaking, numerous other emperors couldn't help but burst into laughter upon seeing this. In fact, when it comes to this moment, one knows who they are talking about without hesitation. For other emperors, Liu Bei's response made them burst into laughter. Rao was also very puzzled by Qin Shi Huang at first. But after hearing Li Shimon's explanation, he was also very contemptuous of Liu Bei. And now, when Liu Bei comes to this point, suddenly, Zhu Yuanzhang said with a hint of playfulness, "What if this person's surname is Liu? Liu surname. Is it my Han royal relative?" Upon hearing this, Liu Bei, who was originally full of confidence, suddenly froze. After hesitating for a moment, he finally responded, "So what? My Liu family has been heroes for generations. If there really is such a waste, I will kick him out of the family tree and make him kneel in front of the ancestors to apologize." Even though he had some associations in his heart, he still stubbornly refused to admit it. Although Liu Bei was the emperor of Shu Han, he was unable to unify the world. Gathering with other emperors, there is already a slight gap in my heart, and I must want to make up for it from elsewhere. Therefore, he never believed that the offspring rescued by Zilong's journey alone would be so unbearable. At this moment, with these words spoken, many emperors from other planes were staring at this side with a mocking attitude, and the next words left Liu Bei speechless. P.S. Thank you for your generous feedback. I would like to add an additional chapter here. Thank you for your support. Qin Ming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 10 Liu Bei. Brothers are still reliable. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10 Liu Bei. Brothers are still reliable. Kneeling for flowers to reward and evaluate this scene happened too quickly. So much so that at this moment, Liu Bei never regained his composure. Are these all done by his son Adou? This time, Liu Bei waved his big hand. Impossible, absolutely impossible. My son Liu Chan, he would never do such an act of deceiving his master and destroying his ancestors. However, at the moment of speaking, above the sky, accompanied by that golden light shining, this scene was clearly seen by many people from all walks of life. At this moment, curious expressions appeared on the faces of other emperors, all of whom turned their gaze towards the golden light. Speaking of the present, above the sky, a line of words suddenly appeared. The 10 most unsuccessful successors were Liu Bei and Liu Chan. The reason for the failure is about to start playing. This operation immediately caused other emperors to stop their movements. At this moment, other emperors really want to know why all of this is happening. The picture suddenly underwent a transformation. Mai Cheng. A force of over 300 people, led by a tall and burly man with a jujube-colored face. At this moment, the person holding the green dragon Yenhua blade looked slightly embarrassed towards his side. And not far away, there was already a dense group of people blocking their roads to the fullest. Even at this moment, Guan Yu had no intention of surrendering. Upon seeing this, Pan Zhang greatly admired Guan Yu in his heart. However, everyone has their own way. Nowadays, when we meet on the battlefield, we can only engage in a fierce battle. Not long after, the sound of fighting spread throughout the valley. There were many people lying on the ground in all directions, and Guan Yu was holding the green dragon Yanhua blade, which had reached its limit. Later, his eyes turned red and he shouted, "Guan will swear to death and never surrender." Upon seeing this, Pan Zhang waved his big hand to signal the people around him to continue. "Kill him." As the words fell, Guan Yu fell. Among other planes, many emperors saw this scene and felt a mixture of flavors in their hearts. The more current it is, the more it makes them feel a pang of sadness. I don't know how long it took, but many emperors finally came to their senses. Zhao Kuangyin said, "Alas, Guan Iri was born out of time and actually went to Liu Bei's side." Qin Shi Huang said, "I don't know who this person is. His strength can rival that of my great general Meng Yi." Li Shimin said, "Zhenggu, this person's name is Guan Yu and he is Liu Bei's sworn brother." Zhu Yuanzhang said, "A good horse is paired with a good saddle. Our family's saying that Guan Yu is paired with Liu Bei is really foolish. As many emperors speak. For Liu Bei, he gritted his teeth and his face became extremely ugly. How to drip? Is Guan Yu so unpopular when he gallops on the battlefield for his sworn brother? However, what is the relationship between this scene and his passing to the position of Liu Chan? Liu Bei did not understand these things. Speaking of now. The civil and military officials in the main hall of Ba Shu looked at each other, and they were equally shocked by such a scene, expressing their own opinions on it. Why would General Guan die? This is heaven's guidance, how could there be any falsehood? If this matter is true, then it is also true that General Lu Feng was killed by the Lord. But why do you always feel a bit confused? At this moment, the voices of other civil and military officials fell. On the side. When Lu Feng saw this situation, his eyes were uncertain, wondering what he was thinking. On the other hand, Guan Yu looked at the scene presented in the picture with a pensive expression on his face. Immediately, he turned around and a pair of bright red phoenix eyes landed on Liu Bei beside him, and then he clasped his fists in an extremely sincere manner. Big brother, even if the result is like this. Guan Yu is also willing to follow his elder brother to create a career and help me build a prosperous Han dynasty. Upon hearing these words, Liu Bei's originally bitter face showed a hint of joy. Look, this is his sworn brother Liu Bei. After all, it's still our own brothers who are reliable. As for other emperors, as well as these civil and military officials present. From Liu Bei's perspective, there is no doubt that he is still a bit short. Just. Although in that scene, his sworn brother Guan Yu was defeated in Maicheng. But what is the relationship between these and whether he passed down his position to Liu Chan? Liu Bei still didn't understand this in his heart. Of course, there are still many people who share such thoughts with him. However, at this moment, above the sky, a line of words suddenly appeared under the shining golden light. Liu Bei executed his adopted son Liu Feng for 3 reasons. Firstly, Guan Yu suffered a defeat in Maicheng. Prior to this, he had sought help from Liu Feng but was refused. Therefore, Liu Bei had doubts about it. Secondly, Liu Feng followed Liu Bei on the southern and northern expeditions, and had a certain level of prestige in the army. Liu Bei was worried that the country would fall into his hands, so he discussed with Zhuge Liang to eliminate it. Thirdly, Liu Feng once persuaded the generals of Wei to surrender, but it resulted in military failure. In summary, Liu Bei had a murderous heart. Early on the golden light shone brightly, emitting a dazzling light. As these lines of text appear, the screen switches accordingly. And all of this is presented very clearly. The eyes of everyone, including Liu Bei, froze and instinctively turned to Liu Feng beside them, wondering what was on their minds. And many civil and military ministers around were greatly shocked by this situation. Is what is said true? My lord actually wanted to kill General Lu Feng, and he also listed 3 pieces of evidence. It's absolutely impossible, this matter must be related to the Chow thief. General Lu Feng, please don't remain calm and don't fall for the plot of the Chow thieves' division. Moreover, at this moment, as other ministers speak up here. And Lu Feng, although he didn't reveal anything on the surface. But he clenched his hands tightly, his eyes fixed on Liu Bei. Due to excessive force, Lu Feng's finger bones were slightly widening. At that moment, Lu Feng's heart was as dead as ashes. Liu Bei, I followed you back in Jingzhou. I can't believe you're going to kill me for such a small matter. At this moment, Lu Feng gritted his teeth and didn't know what was on his mind. Besides Liu Bei, his face was also extremely ugly. Such behavior is not just slapping his face, it's like slapping his skin. However, this move is far from over. Qin Ming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th.